I asked my friend George Whitfield to please explain how exactly he sees that Cooper Rush is doing this, how he's pulling this off out of Central Michigan. George Whitfield is a quarterback guru and teacher, worked with many of the top quarterbacks, many of those coming out of college, coming out of high school. George immediately said to me, think about how many NFL quarterbacks the MAC has produced. The MAC is where obviously Central Michigan is located in that conference. And I'm thinking, yeah, Roethlisberger and Chad Pennington and Byron Leftwich. And if you go back to Bruce Gradkowski and Charlie Batch, and I could go on, but it has its fair share. So George says, you don't see that many big-time NFL quarterbacks produced by Power 5 schools like Ohio State because Ohio State is so loaded with five-star players around the quarterback, five-star recruits, blue-chip players, that the hardest position in sports to play, quarterback, gets a lot easier at Ohio State because of all the firepower at the skill positions and obviously in the offensive line. So George's point is that MAC quarterbacks have to learn how to play the position against all odds because they don't have five-star receivers who can instantly separate. You have to figure it out on the fly. You need to be able to speed read it and see it before the defense can react to you. Cooper Rush is just finding open receivers and delivering catchable footballs right on the money before the defense can react or before pass rushers can get to him. The Giants threw kitchen sink at him. There were extra rushers almost every play. There were free rushers in his face all night long. And it shocked me. Cooper Rush never got sacked, because he was anticipating and getting rid of the ball with accuracy before he could get hit. He would get hit on follow-throughs, but not hit during his delivery. It's been a long time since I've seen anything quite like it. And I got to tell you, rising above all this, I've been shocked that the media has ridiculed Jerry Jones for daring to say that he would welcome a quarterback controversy. He said last week he would walk all the way to New York for a quarterback controversy. That is the single most obvious and right thing Jerry Jones has ever uttered in his football life, ever. Sure, he would welcome it because that would mean Cooper Rush would keep winning games. I'm not predicting this, but hypothetically, what if he does take care of business against Washington? What if he's pressed into service to come out here to LA to play the Rams the next week? Or dare I say, to go to Philadelphia on a Monday night the following week? What if, not predicting this, what if he continues to win? Well, obviously, a quarterback controversy would ensue. I think we already have a quarterback controversy because Dak is now on the hot seat if they hand him his job back, whenever that might be. I don't know. He said he might even play against Washington. I doubt that, but let's say it's against the Rams. Well, you better perform, big guy, because we got to see how the other half lives. We got to see Cooper Rush perform at a level you haven't for the longest time, the longest, hardest time. It's hard on my eyes watching Dak over the last year since the 403-yard performance at Brady. So Jerry Jones is just speaking the truth. Yes, we would welcome a quarterback controversy because that would mean we've won a couple of more games even now. And by the way, speaking of winning, my friend George Whitfield was very intrigued by the way Cooper Rush handled himself on the field right after the game as ESPN interviewed him. When he was asked about, what about a potential quarterback controversy, he didn't go with the usual backup quarterback saying, I'm just trying to do the best I can and hold this down until Dak gets healthy again. He didn't say that because that's not what he's trying to do. Cooper Rush said, I'm just going to try to keep winning games. That's it. Bingo. Beautiful. Thank you, Cooper Rush. I reminded you last week in 1991, Jerry Jones and Jimmy Johnson went with the hot hand down the stretch of that season. Troy Aikman sprained a knee ligament. Here came Steve Berline, the backup quarterback. Steve won the last 4 regular season games. Now they go into their first ever of that regime's playoffs, and they got a game at Chicago, and then it was followed by a game at Detroit, and they rode the hot hand. Troy was 100% ready to play. They rode the hot hand. Jerry signed off on Jimmy's decision. Jerry knows what that felt like. And then, need I remind you, 2016, there was this guy. Do you remember this guy out of Eastern Illinois? This guy was actually undrafted also, just like Cooper Rush, out of Eastern Illinois, undrafted. This guy named, I think his name was Romo, if memory serves. I think he made 4 Pro Bowls. This guy, Tony Romo. Undrafted? That happened. So why can't Cooper Rush happen? And now I remind you about 2016 when Jerry, who loved Tony Romo like a son, began to behold this 4th-round rookie out of Mississippi State, kid named Dak Prescott. And they won 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10 in a row. And all of a sudden, handwriting's on the locker room wall. They got to keep on keeping on. 11 in a row. Tony conceded publicly. It's his job. It's his team now. Jerry went right along with it, riding the hot hand. No more Romo. So Cowboy history says, don't sleep on Cooper Rush. I hope you enjoyed that video. You ready for more? Make sure you click that subscribe button for all the exclusive content from the Skip Bayless Show. And don't forget to check out the full episode of the show wherever you get your podcasts by clicking the link in the description.